are now listening to the IELTS podcast. Learn from tutors and ex-examiners who are masters of IELTS preparation. Your host, Ben Worthington.
Hello IELTS students, my name is Ben Worthington. Thank you for tuning in today. We've got a super tutorial coming up and it's going to help you because you've been struggling with your IELTS task too, haven't you? I know it. I know this because at the weekend I jumped in and I was doing some essay corrections. Our ex-IELTS examiner needed some time off, quickly approaching burnout from all the corrections we've been getting. Yes, so I jumped in, and yes, we do have our AI essay checking tool, which is insanely useful, insanely powerful, and obviously much faster. However, if you've got the time and the resources, the financial resources, then also getting your essay corrected by a qualified tutor is also advantageous because, you know, I'm not going to say the AI essay checker is as good as an ex-IELTS examiner. Obviously it's not, but it does get you near. So just keep that in mind. Right then, so you've been struggling with the IELTS writing test too, haven't you? I know this. As I said, I've been correcting essays and I had this sort of like a eureka moment, you know. I had this sort of like the light bulb went off, so to speak. And the solution I'm going to share with you, okay, will help you boost your score. It'll catapult you straight to the top. What we're going to talk about is conditionals and hypothetical examples. These are your new secret weapons. And these, we go into this in much detail and I give you copy-paste frameworks and sentences to use which accelerates the learning process insanely. So, how on earth did I stumble upon this? Okay, well, thing is, when I'm correcting these essays, I need kind of like a different environment. I can't do it at home because my new little boy, he just runs up and, you know, he brings me a chopstick. He brings me a little plastic toy. He brings me a piece of bread that he found. Whatever. It's too many distractions. And I don't know if you've got a kid, but it's insanely difficult to tell your child to go away because you want to correct an essay. So what I've started to do is I go to my favorite coffee shop. If I go there at a ridiculous time in the morning, it's usually quiet enough, and I put my noise cancelling headphones on, and I've got some noise cancelling technology that doesn't pick up on the chinks and the sounds in the background. So I'm there in the coffee shop, I'm marking essays, and I was blasting through them, and I noticed something quite interesting. Every high scoring essay had one thing in common. All of them used conditionals and hypothetical arguments. And as I said before, it's like I could hear the light bulb like bing go off in my head. Now, you might be asking why? Why should I even bother with conditionals? Well, I've got 5 reasons. 1, you're going to boost your grammatical range and accuracy score. Because using conditionals, you're going to be using the modals, you're going to be using a wide range of complex grammar structures. Examiners love this. You're going to enhance the coherence and cohesion of your essay. Now, let me just put an asterisk there. You're going to enhance your coherence and cohesion score if you can do it in a logical way. That's why the frameworks are so valuable here. Unfortunately, a lot of the essays I was correcting were using the framework, so they were beautiful. They were seamless. The third reason is you're going to be able to flex your vocabulary muscles. With conditionals, you can showcase a wider variety of language, including modal verbs and also time phrases. We're going to get into this in more detail. Also, you're going to be able to express yourself better, not only in the writing exam, but also in the speaking exam. And this comes into play. This is important at the upper end of the scale, at the band 7, 8s and 9s. And by having a good control of hypothetical situations or actions that rely on certain conditions, if you've got a good control of this in writing, the chances are this is transmitted, this is conveyed when you are speaking. As I said in previous tutorials, when I started working on my writing, I almost instantaneously saw an improvement in my spoken communication. That's why you will rarely hear me say were. It's crisper and I can say what I want. I can say what's in my head now because I've developed this writing muscle. Now, the final reason why you want to be using these conditionals is because this is what the band 7, 8s and 9 students are doing. You want to be in this club, don't you? You want to get to Australia, to the UK. A student wanted to go to Scotland once. But you want to be in this group. You want to change the path your life is on. That's why you decided in an ambitious way, which I admire, to take the IELTS exam and to get to Australia, to Canada, to Vancouver, to Toronto, to Manchester, to London, to Melbourne, to Sydney, wherever your goal is. Right then, how do we incorporate these conditionals in our IELTS essay? Let's just have a quick review of them. So we've got the 0 conditional, and this is when the result will always happen. When students prepare properly, they often achieve high scores. This is quite a basic one, 0 conditional. Universities provide scholarships if the student is exceptionally gifted. One way to remember it is if this, then that, or IFTTT. If this, then that. If you disregard the word limit, you lose marks. First conditional. This is to talk about real and possible situations. If governments invest more in education, societal progress will be inevitable. Universities will provide better research if they receive adequate funding. If we increase renewable energy usage, the impact of climate change will decrease. Be careful though. Sometimes you might have to introduce an element of hedging, which we can talk about in another tutorial. Second conditional. Use this to talk about unreal or improbable situations. Maybe I'll take that phrase back actually. So let's just have a look at some example sentences. If I were the Minister of Education, I would prioritize equal access to education. Yeah. Nations would have stronger economies if everyone had access to higher education. Now, final sentence. If we could eliminate poverty, all children would have a chance at quality education. Now, I would say we can talk about unreal situations, okay, but they also have to be realistic. And this could be a little bit complicated, but I think the final example kind of sums it up best. If we could eliminate poverty, all children would have a chance at quality education. It's not so unrealistic, okay? It is entirely realistic, okay? And we've got that hedging element there, which we definitely need to incorporate, especially if we're going for band 7 or band 8 or 9. Final one, third conditional. This is a very useful one also. And we use this to talk about past situations that didn't happen. If the government had allocated more funds to public schools, the literacy rate would have been higher. Just think at how many tenses there we've used. How many structures. This is why high scoring students are using these conditionals. They're using these frameworks. The graduation rate would have improved if schools had focused on vocational training. If I had known about the importance of conditionals earlier, I would have aced my IELTS test, for example. Now, that's the grammar. Okay, it's not the grammar. Those are the examples. So I don't have time to go into the rules right now. In our course, we look at it in more depth, but we take a more practical point of view, like use this framework, and this way you can improve faster. Now, the magic is when we use these hypothetical arguments in our essay, because it makes your essay stronger. It gives you a coherent argument, and you're basically playing like the what if game. For example, we've got this question. Some people think that universities and colleges should concentrate on the history of their own country rather than the history of other parts of the world. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this opinion? Body paragraph. I firmly disagree with this viewpoint. If universities were to solely focus on the history of their own nation, students would likely develop a myopic worldview. International history provides a platform for comparison and critique, enriching students' understanding of their own history. For example, if Japanese students were to only study Japanese history, they might be unaware of the global impact of World War II. They might overlook the international responses to the war and the subsequent formation of the United Nations. Consequently, their understanding of their own world history would be incomplete. Now, there's nothing in there against Japanese students. I love Japanese students. This is just an example body essay. It's fine, it's realistic, it's roughly accurate. And I could talk about British students. I could talk about, British students just studying British history. Okay? Doesn't really matter. What I want to include there is that there were quite a few hypothetical arguments. And going back to my coffee shop moment, I realized the students that were scoring high would produce a hypothetical argument and then go on to develop it further in a more hypothetical way. And this fits in beautifully with past frameworks where we start in a general point of view and go down to the specific. This is why I'm quite excited about the new course we've got, because the new course follows the same framework, but it gives you more powerful tools and brings you up to speed with the conditional. You just drop in your ideas and you've got the argument developed in a high scoring fashion. Now, I imagine you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed with this. Okay, it's a lot of information to take on board and probably a lot of information to plow through in order to actually implement it, But don't worry, the new sentence guide course we are releasing very soon has a structured plan to incorporate these conditionals, hypothetical arguments into your essay faster than you could have ever thought of before. And the beautiful thing is, the new course is built around the new AI essay checking tool. So it's adapted. It's even more streamlined. So you can improve your work faster. In fact, as I said before, you don't even have to write new essays. You can find your new essay and maybe just adapt it and drop in the framework. Use the same ideas and drop in the framework and put it through the essay checker and get your score. So I don't want you to think of this as a cheat sheet. I don't want you to think of this as cheating at all. Okay? You still have to do some work. All I'm saying is that it's quicker. It's more efficient. It's going to transform your writing. So just imagine submitting your task 2 essay with that full confidence, knowing it's like your final exam ever. Okay? So this isn't magic. It's not even rocket science. It's just the result of using a framework. And this goes back to what I've been saying in previous tutorials. Using a framework is like one of these tools that smart students are using nowadays, rather than just sitting there with a bag of crisps, munching the crisps and just burning through YouTube tutorials and burning time, which is not the way to prepare. You want a powerful, practical, effective way. And you know, you've got it nowadays. You've got, the tools are available. You know, this essay checker, it changes everything. You'll be able to get that faster feedback. And by the way, I've been working with this essay checker for a while. Two points, two things I want to admit. Three things actually. One, as I said earlier, it's not as good as a human essay corrector. Obviously, we are not there yet. Eventually, it will be. It will be superior. 2, this makes my heart sink. It's very sad for me to say this, but use it with American English rather than British English. Ouch. Anyway, why? It just seems to be more accurate when you use American English. I want to get this corrected, but it's a matter of pride, and pride's not really important for you for passing the exam. You just need, you just need to get this exam and get to Australia, get to Canada, UK, wherever. Thirdly, the premium version is more accurate. I wrote an essay, I submitted it, and it was giving me 6.5. I was like, what? And I was like poking around, and I was like, that's weird. It's perfect. That's weird. First I looked at the essay and I was like, I can't get it. I don't get it. Then I did a premium check. I waited 20 seconds, and it changed my score. It changed it to band 8.5. And I was like, oh gosh, oh my word. The reason why it changed it to 8.5 is because the premium one, it's measuring more data points. And that's why it takes longer to give you the feedback. And when it measures more data points, it's got more confidence in giving you a more accurate score. Whereas the free one, we set it up so to play it safe. So you don't, just to be on the safe side, it gives you a slightly lower score, so you over-prepare. Now, some cynical people might say, like, oh, you just want people to upgrade. And obviously we want people to upgrade, but we want it to be on the safe side, giving you the score. And obviously it takes more resources to give you a more accurate score. And anyway, come on, it's $12. You can submit as many essays as you want in 30 days. That's insane. Compared to $19, and you can just submit one essay, which is what we've been offering with the human essay correction, the IELTS examiner. So when you join, you'll also get a course on how to upgrade your essay, and we're working on this new course to also include some of the frameworks we are developing now. That's it from me today. I want you to have a beautiful day. I want you to keep on moving. I want you to also take a second to just zoom out. It's easy to get obsessed with the IELTS. It's easy just to see IELTS as this big wall, this obstacle. Just zoom out, get some perspective. Why are you taking the IELTS? Because you're going to change your life insanely. Zoom out, see the big picture, see your life in Canada, in the UK, in the rain, in Australia, in the sun. in Canada in the snow. See your life like that, and then zoom back in, and you'll have a new breath of confidence. You'll have a new purpose, and that's what you need when you're tackling this beautiful, lovely monster we love to hate called the IELTS exam. Have a super day. Keep moving. If you've got a friend who's struggling, go to send them this tutorial. If you need more resources, go to IELTSPodcast.com, sign up. You'll get a free introductory course on how to improve your score. You're going to get the free topic ideas ebook we are producing, and it'll just make your journey that much quicker and easier. Have a lovely day and keep moving forward. All the best.
Thanks for listening to IELTSPodcast.com.